Welcome to the second episode of what the hell it's like to be a naturally gifted medicine person. And let's chat about dreams, visions, and connecting to the other side, connecting to ancestors, connecting to spirit guides. Let's chat about what those experiences are like. And I think for a lot of people that don't have these gifts, for them that's the exciting part of being naturally gifted. That's the part where they're like, "Ooh, I'd love to be able to do that." Lots of people have said, "Oh, I'd love to be able to do that." And like, don't get me wrong. Over the years, I've had incredible visions. I've had profound dreams. I've had amazing experiences with the ancestors and spirits guides where like my mind is just blown by the encounter and what's happening. Really beautiful experiences. But there's also the incredibly terrifying experiences. Like it's and this is where the glamorization of being someone like this needs to very much go away. Because it's not always like, oh, this is amazing, and oh, that was such a profound message. Like for a lot of it, you're like, get the message, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, what are you trying to tell me right now? They'll send you the most obscure like signs and symbols and synchronicities, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, can you speak English? Like, can you send me an email? Can you give me a presentation? Like, can we sit down in a class and like talk about this? Can we do something else? And there's jokes that go on in the healers community, with people like us that um, the universe needs to communicate better. Like, send us a memo, send us an email. Can we attend a class on this? Can we do education in a different way? So there is actually a joke, because a lot of it is confusing, and a lot of it is like, what are you trying to tell me, man? Like, just speak in like simple language. Talk to me like I'm five. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old child that's ignorant. Like, help me here. And they're like, cool, let me send you something else. And you're like, well, what is that? That doesn't help me. That just makes it even worse. So as much as we have beautiful, profound experiences in connecting to the other side and having these dreams and visions, there really is the other side to where some of the stuff is terrifying, and some of the stuff is just outright confusing, where you're like, I don't know what to do with that. And sometimes it's weeks or months, sometimes even years later, when you're like, oh, that's what they were trying to tell me. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. It's like, couldn't you have given that to me in a simpler format back 5 years ago? Would have been a bit more helpful. But the universe communicates the way the universe communicates. Like, we're trying to work on that. But let's start with dreams and visions. I was probably about 9, when my dreams really started, my waking dreams, and first and foremost, it was the spider. Like, I've been like full on arachnophobic, terrified of spiders because of these dreams and visions I used to have as a kid. The most prominent one was spider about the same size as me, just what I interpreted to be like chasing me. Like, obviously now I'm way more educated and I understand the spider a whole lot better. Like, it's a totem animal for me. It's one of my spirit guides. I currently have three spiders that live on outside of my home. They're orb spiders, which I understand in the native culture here in America to be known as the creator of the universe, the ultimate creator, or what we call the creatrix. Some of them call her grandmother spider. So I mean, I'm still like, you're still scary. I'm still gonna keep my distance, but I have a lot more reverence and respect and love for the spider as my totem animal and as one of my spirit guides. Um, it's taken me, many, many years to get there. It's taken me a long time to get there. And I'll have the waking visions of spiders, and I'll wake up in like complete terror. Like, I'm still working on that. Okay. But yeah, the spider the same size as me, that what I interpreted as chasing me, like, no matter what room I went into, I would close doors. I would, like, try and get away from the spider as much as I could. And like I would close doors and things, and the spider would just flatten itself and come in under the door and be like, "Hey, well, I'm coming, I'm still coming." And I'd be like, "Oh my god, the spider's gonna eat me." Meanwhile, the spider was just chasing me down to, you know, communicate with me and be like, "Hey, hi, I'm your spirit animal." And I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's gonna eat me." So yeah, it's terrifying. Right? Like some of the stuff is incredibly terrifying, especially when you're like 9 years old and you're like, "Oh my god, this giant spider the same size as me wants to eat me." Um, Waking visions of spiders. So I would wake up from a dream, and there would be a spider, like big giant spider, in the bed next to me. And it's only until recently, now that I see the orb spiders on the side of my house, that I'm like, this is the spider that I've dreamt about since I was 7, is the orb spider. And now that I have 3 of them living on my house, I'm like, oh, I recognize you. I now know who you were. Which to me in itself is just a beautiful realization to have, and a very recent realization that I've had. It's about 2 or 3 weeks now that I've had the orb spiders living on the outside of my home. But I would wake up, and when we wake up, for me, when I wake up from these, you know, and I'm waking up into a vision, like you can see everything around you. I can see the room around me, even though it's like middle of the night and everything is dark. There's like a weird, almost like luminous light that fills the room, so that I can see, but the light actually isn't there. And I would wake up, and there would be this giant spider in the bed next to me, and I would just be filled with such terror at like, oh my god, the spider is going to eat me. You know, the spider is here to, like, you know, inject its poison and, you know, eat me as a snack. And I would frantically reach for my bedside light to switch the light on, and I would, like, you know, swoosh at the, you know, at the spot where the spider was to try and get it away from me. And like my poor nervous system is in hyperdrive because, oh my god, the spider's going to eat me. You're at 9, like you you don't know what the hell's going on. You're just like, oh my god, there's a spider in the bed next to me. And I would switch the light on, and there was nothing. That there was no spider there. And it was so confusing for me, like, what the hell is this? Like, what is that? Like, where did the spider go? Like, why would I wake up and see a spider in the bed next to me? And that would even freak me out more, because like, oh my god, now the spider's gone. I can't find it. I can't see it. Like, is it under my bed? Like, has it gone somewhere else? And it took me probably coming into my late teenage years that I actually understood that they were waking visions, that, you know, the spider hadn't, you know, crawled in under my bed to, you know, wait for me to climb out so it could eat my ankles. It took long to really understand what was happening, but those waking dreams, they happened for years, many years, right through into my early 20s, where they kind of tapered off. Coming into my teens, my dreams of war were the next one. So spider dreams and dreams of war also, like, I would wake up in full-blown panic mode. And I'm still figuring out if the dream, because it was the same dream every night. That like the everything is exactly the same. Me standing outside what I perceived to be like a big cave, trying to like get people in because bombs were coming. And I don't know if it's me dreaming about a past life. I don't know if it's me dreaming about the future. There, I'm still not too sure. So, you know, universe, if you can send me a memo, please, and explain that dream, that would be great. But yeah, I mean, as a teenager, who wants to have such a terrifying dream of like being in a war-based situation where you're frantically trying to, you know, save people's lives from bombs that are going to be dropping out the sky. So, you know, it's not like the stuff kicks in when you're an adult and you can process the stuff a whole lot better. Like, you're young and you're like, what the actual fuck is going on here? Like, this is scary. So yeah, dreams and visions, they're not always, you know, fabulous and rosy and wonderful. Like, some of them, they're terrifying. The last spider nightmare that I had was about 2 years back, and I woke up to literally hundreds and hundreds of what I now know to be the orb spider just pouring out of my bedside table onto the bed next to me. Like who anybody would want to wake up and see that? Like that was awful. And I woke up in like full panic because like there's just hundreds of spiders just pouring out of my bedside table onto the bed next to me. And I remember reaching for my husband and like frantically waking him up and like, oh my God, please switch on the light, because obviously I can't get to my bedside light because there's hundreds of spiders pouring out of the table that has the light on it. And I'm like, oh my God, you need to switch the light on. Like there's so many spiders. And then what I originally thought was the coyote. About a year ago, I started seeing what I thought was coyote, and it wasn't. It was actually the fox, both of which are known to be tricksters. So I'm not surprised that the fox was coming through as the trickster, and kind of me thinking, oh, this is a coyote, and the fox is like, oh, no, it's me. I only realized it was the fox coming through as a new spirit animal, maybe about a month ago. And I remember last year waking up and standing next to my side of the bed was what I initially thought was the coyote, but it wasn't. It was the fox. But I mean, who the hell wants to wake up and have a wild animal standing next to their side of the bed? So of course I'm like in complete panic mode, and I reach my husband. I'm like, oh my God, there's a coyote next to me. Like you need to help me. Like get your gun. Like help me. And anyway, he switches on the light and he's like, no, there's no coyotes there. And like, of course, your rational brain does kick in after a second, and like, there's no logical way that like a fox or a coyote or any kind of wild animal would be able to get into the house and stand next to my side of the bed. Like that, the logical brain does kick in eventually, and you're like, okay, well, let's make sense of this. But again, that terror of like, oh my God, there's a wild animal literally standing next to my side of the bed. Like, is it going to eat me? Like, what does it want from me? Is it aggressive? Do I need to shoot it? Like I should not sleep with a gun next to my side of the bed. Like my husband and I have established this in case I wake up from like into a vision of something and I'm like, oh my God, I need to shoot this thing. And I one of the other ones that I've had this is one of my favorite stories to tell. My ex and I had moved from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and we were staying with his dad at the time. And I hadn't had a waking vision probably in about 5 years. I hadn't had any waking visions. They'd stopped. And I was struggling to sleep, and I turned to face away from my ex, and something like made me open my eyes, and there was a man standing next to my side of the bed, like with a hood up over his head. And there was a split second where I looked down at his hands, and they were bound by rope. And of course, my logical brain kicks in and it's like, oh my God, we're being robbed. I lived in South Africa. It's one of the most dangerous countries in the world. I'm like, oh my God, there's a man in the house. He's going to rob us. He's going to murder us. Just close your eyes and pretend like you're sleeping. He won't harm you. And then I started to process, and I was like, no, wait, but this guy had his hands bound by rope. Like that wasn't a man standing next to my side of the bed. That was a vision. That was a vision that you were having. But again, it's so real, and it's that transition out of being asleep to being awake, and now suddenly seeing something that shouldn't be there. It takes a minute for the conscious brain to process all of that. So we're not naturally schooled in, like, oh, this is just a vision. Like, if I was where I am today and I'd had that vision now, I probably would have, asked him some questions and said, can I help you? Do you need something? Like, are you someone who's passed, who's maybe stuck? Like, are you your guide? Are you just like, what do you need from me? But yeah, back then I was like, oh my God, this person's trying to rob us. Unless that spirit was a kleptomaniac, like, no, he wasn't there to rob me. But yeah, the waking up into a vision is probably one of the more disturbing things that we can experience as someone who's gifted in having visions and dreams and these things. I think one of my other ones that I've had is waking up to a man in my lounge. I'd taken a nap on the couch, and I woke up, and it's always like everything looks a little bit different. Like the lighting is different. It's almost like a haze, like what we know as to be the veil. It's me looking through the veil. And there's this man in my lounge, and he's teleporting around my lounge, laughing at me. like this is what I'm waking. This is the vision that I'm waking up to: is a man in my house teleporting around, laughing at me. I took a couple of conversations with my mentor, and a few months to really like unpack and process, and for things to unfold and other messages to come through to understand who the heck this guy was. And most importantly, why he was laughing at me. Like, what is this? Who are you? Why are you in my house? And why are you laughing at me? Like, what is this? So yeah, dreams and visions are not always fun. They're confusing. They're like, oh my god, they're terrifying. There's a lot of like, what the hell is happening? Especially coming, like I say, coming out of that dream state, sleep space, into being awake and seeing the stuff. Like your brain's still trying to wake up and still trying to process things. So yeah, those are just some of the waking dreams that I've had over the years. Some of the visions that I've had. Connecting to the other side, connecting to ancestors, spirit guides, mediumship work. I didn't fully know that that was something that I was able to do until I had a client when I was living in Cape Town. Such a lovely gentleman came to see me for a reading. And I mean, for years, I would read for people, and I would either see certain things, like have actual like visualizations, or I would hear things, or I would just know things, like certain thoughts would come to mind, or I was just like, I would just know something. And for him, I had a very clear vision shown to me of this beautiful, big, extravagant house with this beautiful red and green lawn. And there's a TV series in South Africa, I don't know if it's still going, called Top Billing. And they would often like showcase these amazing, extravagant houses, and like Top Billing just kept coming to mind. Like, was that they just repeated over and over. I said to him, like, I'm seeing this, and like Top Billing is like keeps being told to me. And he's like, my mother loved that show. It was one of her. She loved the houses. She loved everything about it. And as he said that, it was almost like floodgates open, and the messages just started rolling through for him of like me literally communicating for his mother to him. Like, it was probably one of the most beautiful, peaceful experiences that I've had in like stepping into that side of mediumship. To have that as one of my first experiences of mediumship. Thanks, universe. Thanks for making that one a little bit more gentle. And it was almost like being flooded with, I can only call it like nostalgia. And I could hear her, I could feel her, I couldn't see her, but I could feel her, and I could hear her. And she just shared how proud she is of the man that he's become. And she just shared so much beautiful things with me. And he was like, he didn't come to me that day with the intention of coming for a reading. He happened to just be walking around that center, and he saw me, and he was like, yeah, let's try it out. I've never had one before. Like, let's see how this goes. And here I was, just sharing the most beautiful messages with him from his mother, and like that sense of deep gratitude and like love for what it is that I was able to give to him, to be able to be that bridge between him and his mother. Those are the moments where I'm like, oh, this I love this work. I love what I do. And my first experience with connecting to the ancestors, so from there, like, mediumship was wide open. I was like, cool, I can actually connect to the other side. People would come to me with those requests. Ever since then, I had a lot more requests for that. I hadn't ever really had a request for someone to be like, hey, can you connect to the other side? But that's like, those floodgates were now open. That part of my gift was completely wide open now. And I mean, I've had beautiful experiences with connecting to the other side. I've had heartbreaking experiences with connecting to the other side. There's no like consistency there, but it still is an amazing part of my gift. Connecting to the ancestors, I had a woman come and see me, and she was seeing me for the first time. And I remember her sitting down in front of me and she said to me, "I've seen you before." And I was like, "No, no, this is definitely my first session with you." And she's like, "No, no, no, I've seen you before. I've had a vision of you. I've seen you in my visions. I've had like multiple dreams about you." And I was like, "Okay, cool, like I'm excited to read for this woman now. Like, someone's coming to me and being like, "Hey, I've had visions of you." Like, I've had visions of other people. Now someone's coming to me and being like, "Hey, I've seen you." So I was like, "Cool, let's see where this reading goes." And I started to pull her cards, and I could kind of like feel energies coming into the room. And I could like just hear what they were saying. Like, I couldn't quite make it out, but like I could hear the voices there. And like I stopped pulling cards for a second, and I kind of like leaned in to listen. And then I could hear them. And I tell you what, my reading room wasn't particularly big. And my tiny little reading room became very full, like very quickly. Like, she had a lot of ancestors behind her. Like, I'm actually, she had a lot of ancestors. And my little reading room became so full. And again, her ancestral line was just, they were firm, and they were like, you know, you need to walk your path and do your thing, but they were just so gentle and loving. And there was just such a beautiful experience that was happening in my very cramped now reading room. And they were like, she needs to walk her path. She needs to get on her path. This is why she's having the dreams. These are the visions that she's having, and this is why she's having them. This is what they mean. And it was just clear communication channel, and like mind-blowing, just mind-blowing. And that's why, like, yes, they are incredibly beautiful and profound things that come with having these gifts. And then there's other things where you're like, "Oh my god, this wild animal vision is going to eat me," you know, like it's so much duality in this work. And after seeing her again, those floodgates were now open, and I just, client after client after client, like I still had the, you know, who am I going to marry, and what's their star sign, and what do they look like, but I just had overwhelmingly far more clients coming to see me that were called to the path, felt like the ancestors had messages for them, and it was like a new point of connection that I was making with the spirit realm. I started to really tune into connecting with angels, with spirit guides. Like, the universe opened up to me so fully. And then that in itself is a beautiful experience. It really is. I don't think that there's ever been an encounter with someone's ancestors or someone that's passed that's been terrifying. There's none that I can really recall. I'm like, "Oh my god, that was an awful experience." For the most part, they were really beautiful experiences for me and the person that was with me. Some of them were a little bit heartbreaking, with the people that have passed in really hard ways. Some people that have committed suicide. So there is the heartbreaking side to that connection. And for me, on a personal level, when my older brother passed, my original spiritual mentor, when JD passed, we didn't know, as a family, we didn't know that he had passed. He had been he had suffered a blunt force trauma to the head. He was living in a different province to us. And it took 2 months for us to track him down and realize, you know, hey, he's sitting in a morgue. But for those 2 months, my brother was loud. My brother was very loud. And of course, I didn't know that he had passed. I didn't know it was him that was trying to communicate with me. He would pull. I was teaching a lot of tarot and mindfulness at the time. And up in my office, I had a lot of posters and things, you know, for, you know, my educational videos. Those got pulled down constantly. They were just, and you could actually see them being pulled. They weren't just like falling off. They were being pulled off the wall, to the point where I just stopped putting them up. I was just like, "Okay, well, screw this." Like, clearly your posters don't want to stay on the wall. Someone's going to leave you on the floor. And then he chucked a pack of tarot cards at me. Like, he actually like chucked an entire set at me. And when I did find out that he had passed, I went to that set of cards that he had thrown at me and pulled the card that came out. And the set had, it was a strength card that came through, and on the image of that strength card is a woman hugging a coffin. And pretty much he was, like, months ago, he's like, "Hey, I'm dead, Like, you're going to need some strength and courage to get through this process with me, but I'm going to need you for this process. Until my brother was loud in life, and my brother is still, we connect very often. I have a lot of connection with him. He's become one of my ancestors. He's a phenomenal guide for me. Walks with me regularly, communicates with me a lot. He communicates with me a lot through nature. The blue jay, the deer, like he just constantly talks to me. It's beautiful. But when I'd made the connection, and after I'd pulled that card, like everything just poured through. I could hear him so loudly, and he pretty much, in a sense, sat me down and told me what had happened. He showed me who'd done it, how it had happened, where it had happened. I could see it all so clearly. I saw him lying in the morgue, with the, that gash in the head. I could see everything so clearly, and he said to me, don't focus on the person that did this. They will get what they deserve, and they did. That was solved all on its own. We as a family didn't have to do much about that. And then he started to tell me what he wanted, like, for his service. And he's like, you need to do the service. You need to do that. And I'm like, oh God, all right, if I have to. And he was like, celebrate me. Don't mourn me. Like, you need to celebrate the life that I lived. As hard as my life was, celebrate me. And we did that. I did everything that he asked, and everything that he wanted flowed through so easily. I never hit any blocks or obstacles or came up against any challenges. It all opened up so smoothly. And like I say, to this day, my brother is still loud, and yes, he has chucked tarot cards at me again. My brother was the one who introduced me to tarot. Like, that is why I'm a tarot reader today. That is why I became a tarot reader 20 odd years ago. It was because of him. He just handed me a pack of Rider-Waite's, and he was like, these will suit you. These will suit you beautifully. And he wasn't wrong. So tarot has been a very, like, a big shared passion for the both of us over the years. So for him to chuck cards at me make complete sense. Like, any time there's cards that fall off the shelf or pack gets chucked at me, I'm like, okay, cool. JD, what do you want? What's the message? What do you got for me? What are we talking about today? So yeah, he still chucks cards at me. And it also shows just how strong of a soul he actually is, because from what we understand, it takes a immense amount of energy for those that have passed and those that are existing in the spirit realm, for them to be able to move things here in the material 3D world is actually incredibly difficult. Like, it takes a lot of energy for them to do that. I'm not surprised that JD, like, off the bat, 2 months into being passed, was able to pull posters off my wall, chuck tarot cards at me. And yeah, he's become an amazing ancestor for me. Like, he truly has. So there really is a lot of duality in having these types of gifts and being able to connect to the other side. I have come across malicious entities before from the other side. I have come across ones that, spirits that have, people that have passed, that, dangerous. Yeah, I have come across those. More so, though, I've come across more beautiful experiences in that realm, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, the dreams and the visions, they swing between being really amazing and beautiful to being like, oh my God, this is terrifying. And the visions don't always happen when I'm, waking up. Sometimes I'll just be sitting there and I will have a full-on vision. And I'll be like, okay, what the hell is this? And either it'll take a couple of minutes or a couple of hours, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, what I saw now makes a whole lot more sense. But it's a beautiful part of the gift. It's an incredible part of the gift. Like it still blows my mind 20 odd years in fact, no longer than that, because 9 is when it all started. Like all these years in of having these experiences, they really are beautiful and profound and amazing. But yeah, some of them are just absolutely, like, chillingly terrifying. They really are. And for a lot of it, like, it doesn't make sense for us. A lot of it, we will get a message or a vision, or something will be shown to us and we're like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, can we have some more context, please? Like, can we have a better explanation than just, you're sending me this? Like, come on, universe, like, communicate better with us. So there's challenges that come with this type of work. There's obviously, first and foremost, like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Like, is this real? Which I've covered in one of my practitioner pitfall episodes. My second episode is all on like that subject. Like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing, or am I just imagining this? There's the questioning your sanity. Like, have I lost my mind? I mean, I had a experience when I was living in Hanoi, where the ancestors kind of pulled me out of this realm into theirs, and I kind of like was stuck there, and it was awful because I can see the world around me, I can see the people around me. I was in my tarot cafe that day, and I remember people like talking to me, and like I couldn't communicate back with them. Like I was there, but I wasn't there. And I had a friend come and see me the next day to check in on me, and my first words out of my mouth is, I think I've lost my fucking mind. And I kind of talked through like everything that happened. I reached out to my mentor the next day, and she like also talked me through everything that had happened. But like some of the stuff is very unsettling. Some of the stuff is like, what the actual hell is happening here? It's destabilizing, it's disorientating. And for a lot of the stuff, like it doesn't make sense. The universe is not the best at communicating. In fact, I think the universe and the ancestors and the spirit guides are some of the worst communicators like that exist in this world. But I can't be mad about it either, because there is the flip side to it, where there is a lot of beauty that comes from it. So yeah, dreams, visions, connecting to the other side, connecting to the ancestors. That's sure. I'm just scratching the surface here of like what that's really like. Like, these are just some of my experiences that I've had of, what it can look like. And if you're a medicine person and like you are having these dreams and these visions and having these connections, and you're also like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, oh my God, have I lost my mind? I see you, I hear you, and I get you. Like, you're seeing what you're seeing, you're having the experiences that you're having. But I definitely get that need for some kind of external validation, where it's like, okay, I'm completely still sound of mind, I haven't flown the cuckoo's nest, like I'm still, regular functioning person here. And for those that don't have these gifts, that hopefully this has shed a little bit more light on, what it is like to have these experiences. Some of them are just so deep and beautiful and moving, and others are just terrifying. And some of them are just downright confusing. And to learn to refine those gifts, to learn to really understand and interpret those things, it takes a long time for us to really refine those things. And like, I'm still refining those things. I know if I went to sleep tonight and woke up in a waking vision where, the fox is standing next to my bed, my brain will still kick in and be like, oh my God, where's the gun? Shoot the wild animal in the bedroom. And it takes practice and consistency to refine those things. And that's the challenge that comes with being a medicine person in the modern day age. As if a lot of us are told, this is all nonsense, it's all in your head, it's just your imagination. Especially as little kids, we're told that's, oh, yeah, it was just a dream, or oh, that's just your imaginary friend, or it's not real. So the gifts are consistently invalidated. Fortunately, I grew up in an open-minded house. My parents were always open to hearing about my experiences. They still are. They love hearing about the experiences that I have. They're very supportive of it. However, a lot of us, we do have that invalidation where it's like, oh, that's all in your head, or it's your imagination. All the world thinks that you're nuts or you're crazy. And I do question like how many people that are institutionalized, that, they're seeing things and talking to people and seeing people that aren't there. How many of those people there are medicine people that have a really beautiful, profound gift, but society is like, oh, they've flown the cuckoo's nest, we need to put them in a straitjacket and pack them away, hide them from society because they're not normal. And no, we're not normal, and that's a beautiful thing. Like, let's embrace our abnormality as medicine people. Like, we're not supposed to be normal. And what the hell is normal anyway? Like, really, like, what the hell is normal anyway? So I hope this has shed some light on the experiences for someone who has got those gifts, what it's like, what some of those experiences have been like, and for the medicine people that are watching that, I can maybe give you some kind of external validation of like, yes, your gifts are real, the things you see are real, the visions you have are real, the dreams you have are real, the connecting to the other side, the messages you receive, they're 100% real. Like, let me be your external validation for you for today, because I know we need that sometimes, because society doesn't have the capacity to do that for us, unfortunately. So yeah, I hope this episode shed some light on that side of being a medicine person. It would be far simpler for us if we did have the predecessor and the elders to be like, okay, well, your dreams and your visions are real, and this is what your dreams and your visions mean. This is what the spider represents. This is, the man standing next to your side of the bed. This is what he meant, and this is the message he had for you. Um, it would make things a lot simpler. Yes, that and the universe finding better ways to communicate with us. Like, come on, man. Like, let's work on these communication skills. So yeah, being a medicine person isn't glamorous. It isn't like wow and amazing, like, oh, this is wonderful. We have those moments, absolutely, but there's also a lot of confusion, and a fair amount of terror that comes into being a medicine person as well.